Forget the Legend of Zelda. Forget Croc Legend of the Gobos. How about the Legend of the Double Eye emoji? What's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. We've got a bunch of double eyes making people think that this could finally be the week. I mean, it's the last week. It's the only week. I think if we do not get a Switch 2 reveal in the next 7 days, it's probably over for 2024. Double eyes, though. Double eyes give me hope. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about the double eyes. We have 3 sets of double eyes, and they're all from different, distinct, interesting places, okay? I'm going to work my way, I guess, backwards. So we're going to start with the newest double eyes, which is from Pyoro. Now, you might not recognize this as Pyoro because the account is EB576DCFE, but this is Pyoro's account. If you recall, Pyoro kind of deleted everything. Pyoro deleted everything, then Pyoro came back for a bit, and when Pyoro came back, it was with some leaks for Yakuza. Now, Pyoro deleted all that again, and yet Pyoro is back, changing his Twitter name to the double eye emoji. He also updated his banner to Alarmo, and I don't think that this is this isn't a custom picture, so it's not like, oh, pay attention to the time or anything like that. This is just an image of Alarmo that Nintendo themselves provided when they announced the hardware. So this is Pyoro with double eyes emoji, and typically double eyes emoji is like, ooh, what could it be? But it's interesting that Pyoro chose to change it today. Today is Saturday, October 26th. It's the end of last week, and it's obviously in the interim between last week and this next coming week in terms of business days. We know Nintendo is not going to announce the Switch 2 on a Saturday or Sunday, so the weekend is kind of the interim. It is the gap between. And many people thought that last week would be the week for the Switch 2, or potentially next week, and it wasn't last week. So interesting that Pyoro chooses to change his name to the eyeball emoji after last week and into next week. Now, you could say, oh, this is just him. He knew it was going to be one of these 2 weeks, or he's guessing it's going to be one of these 2 weeks, so he waited till the first week was over, and now it's got to be the second week, or it's got to be nothing. Pyoro's already been kind of disgraced. So there's 2 ways to operate if you're a disgraced leaker. You just don't care, and you just continue to leak stuff and say, well, if it's right, it's right, it's wrong, it's wrong. Or you make sure that you're very sure. Now, like I mentioned, Pyoro did leak some Yakuza stuff, and that ended up being true. I believe it was with the Yakuza... what do you call it? The pirate one, the upcoming pirate Yakuza game releasing next year. And he was correct about that. So I'm of the belief that if Pyoro is going to squawk, Pyoro is going to squawk about things that he's confident about and things that he feels really good about. I think this is very promising and very interesting, seeing a Pyoro name change to eyeball emoji, and with Alarmo in the banner, which one could interpret as it's time. Alarmo is the alarm, sound the alarm, it's time. Alarmo is also goofy. Take it with a grain of salt, but that is my reading. All right, let's go to the next, in reverse order, eyeball emoji, and this is from Neil Flynn. You might not know who Neil Flynn is, but this is very interesting because this tweet no longer exists. Oftentimes when something like that happens, it's curious. Now, Neil Flynn is Nintendo UK's marketing manager, okay? So he is someone that is employed by Nintendo UK, and he is somebody that handles marketing. Now, in the past, we've had international Nintendo stuff like this, where employees are reacting. It's like, okay, maybe we shouldn't really be reacting. Maybe we shouldn't really be doing this. And that tweet was deleted, like I said. Now, was it deleted because people started to hypothesize off of this? Was it deleted because Nintendo was like, dude, you can't say that? Was it deleted because he was talking about something else and he realizes that people think he's talking about, a Nintendo Switch 2 reveal? You can make your guess. But that eyeball emoji tweet from Neil Flynn was in reference to Yuka Replayly, which is our 3rd pair of eyeballs. Now, in the Yuka Replayly trailer, they say it'll be on PC, PS5, Xbox Series consoles, and Nintendo with the eyeball emoji. Now, obviously, their eyeball emoji Nintendo thing is definitely indicating in a tongue-in-cheek way, like, we're coming out on Switch 2, we just can't say Switch 2 because the Switch 2 is not announced yet, and we just can't do that. So, very, very cool, very, very interesting, very, very nifty, and we love to see Yuka Replayly being so clever with it. Some people talked about maybe they got approval from Nintendo. Some people don't think that they got approval from Nintendo. Some people think that they're just being as tongue-in-cheek as they can be. Some people think that they're just trying to stir the pot. Interesting that they use the eyes emoji, and then Neil Flynn reacts with the eyes emoji, and then Pyoro changes to eyes emoji. So this is not just like eye emoji, like in the general vernacular, how we understand eye emoji. There is a very direct set of circumstances here that have dictated the eyeball emoji being something that is tied to Switch 2 in the last couple of days. This is all transpiring, within the last 2.5 days. So we have 3 instances of eyeball emojis and a week ahead where it's very plausible that the Switch 2 could be announced. How will they do it? When will they do it? We have their investors call coming up on November the 5th. And we know that Nintendo would like to get something out before then, or at least we assume they would, because right now all they have to say to investors is, guys, we've got Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. Woo! Don't think that's going to ruffle the feathers of too many, too many investors. I don't think they're going to be too excited about that. Now, on the other hand, Nintendo could entirely opt to wait till 2025 because the Switch is understood. And I think the best case for Nintendo Switch being something that isn't revealed, Switch 2, until 2025 is not the holiday sales argument. It's instead the argument that the Switch is understood. The Switch 2 is just going to be a better Switch 1. They don't need 6 months to hype this up. They don't need a whole humongous half a year to hype this up. They can afford to announce in January because everybody knows what the Switch 2 is going to be. They can announce in January, they can release in April or May, and that's fine. They don't really need tons of long-term marketing. They can just go ham with the current marketing for the Switch, and then they can go ham with Switch 2 marketing when it's time, and basically they're advertising the same sort of thing over and over and over again. You know what I mean? Like it's not like we need to do anything totally different. You can market the Switch 2 a little bit different, like, oh, it has this new feature, or oh, it's got magnetic Joy-Con, or oh, it's got better graphics, but you're not needing to rewrite the playbook. It's basically the same playbook. You just say like, hey, do you want to play these new games? And I think that's something else that's interesting is that games are going to be much more of a launching pad for the Switch 2 than for the Switch 1. The Switch 1 was like, do you like our idea? Is portable play appealing to you? We kind of have this cool little idea. I mean, obviously they had Breath of the Wild, but at that time, I don't know that they knew or we knew that Breath of the Wild was going to be a massive hit. A bit risky, a bit different. And they now know that their idea is successful. They know that their company is in a very profitable, successful position. And they can leverage Mario 3D, Mario Kart, Smash Brothers, whatever they want to leverage, Animal Crossing, and that is how they sell this system. And typically with games, maybe you're not going to advertise those this early. Obviously, when we got the Switch 1 teaser, we got game teasers, but we didn't get game titles or names. So if they're not going to be giving us game titles or names, then waiting until January does make sense from that standpoint. I think this is the last hurrah for 2024 for Nintendo Switch 2, and the eyeball emojis have me hopeful. Guaranteed? Absolutely not. Likely, I don't know if we can go that far. But this is very interesting, and I'm very curious to hear your take. Let me know what you think of the triple eyeball emoji bonanza before the big final hurrah for 2024 Nintendo Switch 2. Is it going to get announced this week? Make your best guess in the comments down below, and we'll see who's right. In the meantime, everybody, thanks so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. Love you lots. SwitchForce. Ow.